I want to like white people. I really want to like white people. But then they go about doing things like this, dressing up as slaves, whipping themselves, and being marched around. And as somebody who is, a little bit more than white, I'd say you're a little more melanated.
Just a little bit.
I mean, what are your thoughts about white people like this? Let's just go deep, starting the beginning.
Well, they're the worst kind of white people as far as I'm concerned. No, but seriously, they are. I mean, they're these loser sort of white folks who, unfortunately, I wouldn't even call it caving in, because a lot of them orchestrate a lot of this bull crap as well, this sort of virtue signaling-esque type of deal, where they give themselves some sort of superiority that they don't in fact inherit. You see all these videos, TikTok, that's where like all the stupid people are at these days, and they'll sit there and talk about how, well, you're white and you're automatically oppressive, you're automatically racist, and it'll be like the scrawny, like pencil neck white dude that's in there lecturing everybody, who I'm like, there's absolutely no way that you could oppress like anything. Like, you have no chance and no capacity to ever be able to do that. Like,
it's like you're weak.
Yes,
you're small.
you physically cannot. You can't. You're incapable.
Have you ever seen an average black man? They're a lot bigger than you.
Exactly. So for them to give themselves that power, I think is the issue that I have the most. But look, I was talking about this the other day. Like, we were at a point in history. I was looking at like a video, for example, of like people that were watching Star Wars. Like, this was back in like '83, before I was even born. And they were watching Star Wars. It was filming the people that were like before and after it. And you saw, men, women, black people, white people, and everybody was just having a good time and whatnot. And I was like, man, you think about going in like to the 90s and the early 2000s, like we seem to be like over this hump for not to say there weren't activists, not to say that there weren't people that there weren't like racial issues that existed, but we were like over that. Like certainly when you consider America and the West, we were like over that. Like that was
the overt racism of like, my neighbor moved in and he's black, so I've got to lock, add a second lock to my door.
Yeah.
I don't think we are there. We haven't been there for some time.
A very long time. And for whatever reason, you look at like mid 2015, like 2015-ish, and it just fell off a cliff and we started reverting backwards. So now it's like, okay, there's a Klansman around the corner everywhere a black person goes, and they just cannot, they can't succeed, or they have this fear of racism. You have this whole ongoing legacy of slavery, whatever buzz terms and rhetoric that they try to use. And like I said, like a lot of that is facilitated by way of white people, white leftists giving themselves power and superiority that they absolutely do not have. But there's nothing conducive about what it is that they're doing to even solving any sort of issue of racism. All it is that a bunch of people are stroking each other's egos, massaging each other's egos.
Stroking a little bit more. A lot of these people are real LGBTQ friendly. I'll say that.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stroking, or are they not? Both egos, and if that's how they fly, whatever. I mean, whatever works for them. But you certainly see that we have like this sort of professional activism thing going on amongst like different races, amongst different communities and what have you. And that's what everybody's into.
White people are in charge of this.
Yes.
And that's what I want to say. Now that white people have enslaved themselves to their own chains in this way physically, we're going to talk about how actually the new alt-right is black.